Hello guys, Genuine here from Genuine Gaming, and here is my beginner's guide to spellcasting. If you compare the spellcasting mechanics of Pathfinder to Baldur's Gate 3, Baldur's Gate 3 spellcasting mechanics are way simpler compared to Pathfinder. Spells in Baldur's Gate 3 are most streamlined compared to Pathfinder. Let's start with casting in armor. As players of Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous know that when you cast an arcane spell while wearing armor, you will receive a penalty in the form of spellcasting failure, meaning at a certain percentage, your spell will fail. But with Baldur's Gate 3, which follows the D&D 5e rule, to cast while in armor, you only need to be proficient in wearing that armor. Otherwise, you cannot cast a spell. That is why if you use Gale, who is a human, has proficiency in light armor, and can cast a spell while wearing leather armor. That also goes for Will. However, if you equip them with medium or heavy armor in which they are not proficient, then these armor prohibit them from casting a spell. One important note here, there are some helmets, gloves, and boots that require you to be proficient in a certain type of armor, like medium or heavy. These helmets, gloves, and boots can also hinder the spellcaster from casting a spell. Prepared and known spells. In D&D 5e, for the spellcaster to use a spell, he or she must have the spell firmly fixed in mind like the Druids and the Clerics, or must have access to the spell in magic item like the Wizard's spellbook. Preparing a spell varies in form of different classes in the game. Bards cast their magic through their music. That is why they use their musical instruments when they try to cast a spell. If a musical instrument is not available, they can whistle to weave their magic through music. Bards don't separate their magic, but it is part of their repertoire of known music. At first level, the bard knows 4 first-level spells of his choice from the bard spell list. The following table shows the number of spells the bard knows per level. Bard's casting ability grows with his charisma. His magic comes from the heart and soul poured into the performance of his music. Every time they level up, they can change one of their known spell with another spell. Clerics can cast spells because they act as a conduit of a divine power. They can prepare a number of spells equal to their wisdom modifier plus their cleric level. So a level 2 cleric with 16 wisdom can prepare 5 cleric spells. Druids gain their ability to cast spells through the essence of nature itself. They can prepare a number of spells equal to their wisdom modifier plus their druid level. So a level 4 druid with 18 wisdom can prepare 8 druid spells. Paladins learn their magic through meditation and prayer. They can prepare spells equal to their charisma modifier plus half of their paladin levels. So a level 6 paladin with 14 charisma can prepare 6 spells. Ranger, just like druids, can create magic through the essence of nature. At second level, rangers can know 2 first-level spells of their choice from the ranger's spell list. The following table shows how many spells are known to them per level. The ranger's casting ability grows with their wisdom. Every time they level up, they can change one of their known spell with another spell. Sorcerers are innate spellcasters. They do learn magic, but they are born with magic. At first level, the sorcerer can know 2 first-level spells from the sorcerer's spell list. The following table shows how many spells are known to him per level. The sorcerer's casting ability grows with his charisma. Every time they level up, they can change one of their known spell with another spell. Warlocks are bestowed with magic through their patrons. Warlocks can learn 2 first-level spells from the Warlock's spell list. The following table shows how many spells are known to them. Warlock's casting ability grows with their charisma. Every time they level up, they can change one of their known spell with another spell. Wizards are students of arcane magic. They have a spellbook contained with spells, a reflection of their true power. They know and learn spells as they level up, and they can add a spell to their spellbook by copying through a scroll. Simply right-click on the scroll and click copy. It would cost a certain amount of gold depending on the level of the spell. The cost represents the material components you expend as you experiment with a spell to master it, as well as the fine inks you need to record it. At first level, you have a spell book containing 6 first-level wizard spells. The wizard can prepare a number of spells from their spellbook equal to their intelligence modifier plus their wizard level. Spell slots. Regardless of how many spellcasters know or prepare, they can cast only a limited number of spells before resting. The following table shows how many spell slots of each spell level a class can use at each class level. When a character casts a spell, he or she expends a slot of that spell's level or higher. So, a magic missile, which is a first level spell, can use a level 1 spell slot or higher level spell slot. When a higher level spell slot is used, it is called upcasting. You make the spell more potent when you cast it. For magic missile, when it is upcast, an additional missile is added per level. At first level spell slot, it produces 3 missiles. At second level spell slot, 4 missiles. At third level spell slot, 5 missiles, and so on and so forth. While you can upcast a spell, you can never downcast it, meaning a third level spell fireball cannot use a first level spell slot. It is also a good thing to note that as most spells increase their power when upcast, there are also a number of spells that do not have an effect when they are upcast. Take, for example, Misty Step does not have an additional effect on the spell when upcast. In the Baldur's Gate 3, there are 3 kinds of spells. First, we have the so-called cantrips. Cantrips are spells that can be cast at will without using a spell slot and without being prepared in advance. A cantrip's spell level is 0. Second are called ritual spells. Such a spell can be cast following the normal rules for spellcasting, or the spell can be cast as a ritual. If cast as a ritual spell, the spell does not expend a spell slot. To do this in Baldur's Gate 3, you only need to cast the spell outside of combat. You would know that a spell is a ritual spell if this is present in the description of the spell. Then lastly, the regular or normal spells. These are the usual spells that you cast normally both in and outside of combat. Casting a spell. When a character casts any spell, the same basic rules are followed, regardless of the character's class or the spell effects. Each spell description begins with a block of information including the spell's name, level, school of magic, casting time, range, duration, and the effect of the spell. Let's just discuss what is needed to be discussed in casting a spell. The spell's name, level, school of magic, range, and the effect of the spell is self-explanatory. Casting time. Most spells in BG3 requires a single action to cast, but some spells require bonus action, reaction, and regular action plus bonus action. In BG3, a spell that requires a bonus action must be cast in a bonus action. You cannot cast that spell on your single action. However, contrary to D&D 5e rules, you can cast another spell that requires a single action as long as you have used up your single action. In short, a caster can cast 2 spells in a turn as long as one spell requires a bonus action and another spell requires a regular action. Some spells can be cast as reactions like shield and counter spell. One thing to note, as all characters have 1 reaction per turn, that would mean you cannot make an opportunity attack of the same turn that you used a reaction spell. Some spells would use up both regular action and bonus action, which mean you would use up all your action sources when casting the spell. Concentration spells. Some spells require you to maintain concentration to keep their magic active. If you lose concentration, such a spell ends. If a spell must be maintained with concentration, that fact appears in its description, and the spell specifies how long you can concentrate on it. Normal activities such as moving and attacking doesn't interfere with concentration. The following can break concentration. Casting another spell that requires concentration. You can't concentrate on 2 spells at once. You should also take note when preparing your spells. Make sure that most of the spells that you prepare do not require concentration. Usually, I only put 2 to 3 concentration spells in my prepared spells. Taking damage. Whenever you take damage while you are concentrating on a spell, you must make a Constitution saving throw to maintain your concentration. The DC equals 10 or half of the damage you take, whichever number is higher. Different damage source requires different concentration saving throw. You can end concentration at any time by clicking here with no action required. Saving throw versus attack rolls. Spells that specify a target can make a saving throw to avoid some or all of a spell's effects. With regards to saving throws, it is the target that would make a roll against the spell's DC or difficulty class, which is equal to 8 plus spellcasting ability modifier plus proficiency bonus plus other special modifiers. Some spells require an attack roll by the caster to determine whether the spell effect hits the intended target. The caster is going to make a roll against a target's AC or armor class. In your attack roll using a spell, you are going to get a bonus equal to your spellcasting ability modifier plus your proficiency bonus. Most spells that require attack rolls involve ranged attacks. Remember that you have disadvantage on a ranged attack roll if you are threatened by a hostile creature that can see you and that isn't incapacitated. So those are the important mechanics to understand spellcasting in Baldur's Gate 3. Do not forget to leave a like if this video is helpful, and for more Baldur's Gate 3 videos, subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Ciao!